The reason that we're here and the reason that we even have our publishing company, which is still crazy to think about, is that the folks in this room, may I just see a show of hands, how many of you have been told, your story is so amazing, you should write a book? And then how many of you have written a book? Okay, right? It's a lot fewer hands, and that's not true for certain audiences, right? There are plenty of other audiences, plenty of other book festivals, maybe around this town, where we could do that same thing, and everybody who's been told that they have a story to tell has a pathway to getting that story published, and published successfully by one of the traditional publishing houses. That disparity and that line, narrative equity, which I hadn't heard before, is so deeply important, and especially with stories like Justice Jackson's, we need to make sure that our stories have the same opportunities in print as all the others.
My company, Storehouse in a Box, had an opportunity to partner up with Penguin Random House a couple years ago when Miss Obama was in the process of launching Becoming. And so we knew that we had an audience that was on point for that work. And so we reached out to PRH and we said, hey, we recognize you're getting ready to publish this book. We'd love to help you with the marketing initiative around that and bring all of the Black women, to the table for you for this particular piece of work. We were able to partner together on that first book, and then we turned around and did it again for The Light We Carry, and that partnership was really successful.
What do you need to know in order to have a book deal? One, okay, many people do need a literary agent. It's nice for, and I guess we'll get to that, what we do at Storehouse Voices. You actually don't need a literary agent to reach us, but let's say the publishing world is wide, so in order to access many of those other editors who are, and some of them in the audience, hi Chelsea, the editors are the ones who are going to acquire your work for a publishing house. So how do you get to them? Generally, literary agents are those people. They are responsible for knowing who's who around town, what lists they're publishing, what genres they're successful at, what's really going to resonate with one editor or another, right? They're not necessarily all created equal. Not everything is for everyone, and you want your editor and your creative partner to really be picking up what you're putting down. Novelist, the bad news is that you have to write the whole novel before you start thinking about entering into the publication space. Why? Our executive editor here, Chelsea Jones, will tell you that that's because for a novel, we need to know the fullness of the story. We need to know how well you can pace a full work that's of 60,000 words or more. So you do need to have that entire thing, and then you submit that and some sample material to a literary agent. The good news, if you're writing nonfiction, is that you don't have to do that at all, because the premise of and the promise of nonfiction is that you actually do have something very important to say that's entering into an existing conversation.
I think properly identifying the audience, so the target audience for your work. So it's important that you have a story, you want to bring it to life, but we want to make sure that there are pockets of people who also agree, folks that will be tremendous fans of this work that you want to bring to life. We also need to see an overview of the work, right? So for folks that are writing memoirs or more autobiographical, give us a few sample chapters, let us see your style of writing, where exactly the story is going. And then for additional chapters, how might this story shape up? We want to know a little bit about your marketing plan. So when we get ready to position this work, how do you see us positioning it? What do you bring to the table to support that? At Storehouse Voices, we do not require our authors to have an agent, because we recognize that the agent may not highly identify with your work, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't have value to us.